Hello everyone! We're back with another beta video. This time, the Persona 3 beta from May 21st, 2007. Now, for those who don't know, the original was released July 13th, 2006 in Japan. It took until August 14th, 2007 to release here in North America. So rather than this being a true work-in-progress beta, this beta was more about making sure everything was properly translated and ready for the American market before release. Now, with that being said, there is still a ton of leftover beta material in the game, and this video is focusing on the overall game. We'll have a second part out that will be delving into the oddities we found while messing around within this beta. As well, stay tuned to the end for a special announcement. I don't want to be rambling. Without further ado, let's get into the main video. But first, a small disclaimer from Drive Me Crazy.
Hey everybody, Drive Me Crazy here, just to give a quick few disclaimers before we get into this video. So, we here at the theater have no ties to Atlas or anyone who worked on the original Persona 3 for the PS2. With this being said, just like in the Persona 5 beta video, we will not be distributing any copies of this beta. So if you would like to play these and explore these for yourself, you need to go out and find them. So, this video, just as a reminder, is to document and discuss the things we have uncovered inside of this beta. With this being said, I hope you all have a lovely experience watching this video.
Now, for some reference, the Persona 5 betas we looked at had some major differences, but those were months before release, so pre-release. But here we have a post-release beta, so a lot is unchanged. The day-to-day life, social links, and most of Tartarus is exactly the same as the final game, and there's nothing incredibly different to go over there. Yeah, so this video is going to be covering most of the stuff we found in the beta that wasn't just us fucking around, and is actually beta differences or unique stuff that was left in and either never saw a final release or was never supposed to be seen in the final release. So that's going to be the stuff we're covering. And any weird oddities we found while just fucking around will be discussed in a part 2 video. Now on to the really interesting stuff we were able to uncover that's just really weirdly different. The first thing you see on boot up is this menu. Now, this is the test menu that lets you go to stuff. To quickly cover it, there's a BGM player, and there's tests in there. Nothing super interesting. And the only interesting one just crashes, and there's really nothing we can do there. But the funny one is the facility test, because that will just start playing the shopping music. And they will take that shopping music into the Burn My Dread intro. So I'll let you take a short listen to that and just how cursed that is. Now, with that all out of the way, we use the date changer to enter February artificially. Now, the odd thing here is that the music remains as Memories of the City and the equivalents for the other sections around you. So I don't know really how to describe this one, so I'll just let you see what we saw. And this was a surprise to be sure. Yeah, you see that correctly. 4 motherfucking Akutskis just chilling on the couches and chairs. And when you talk to them, they have an I guess test line, which is just so fucking cursed. I don't even know. This one's just too weird to understand. And well, after that, the game goes back to normal when we reach March. But that's until 3.6, and then the game just goes silent. Nothing plays besides sound effects. And that tells us Persona 3 uses a system that's reliant on the date, in-game time, to properly decide on what should be playing then and there. Since it stops on 3.5, the last playable date the player should have access to, technically speaking. So there just isn't any code at this section in the game to tell the game to play music. So, not shocking, still really fucking creepy.
So, Next up on the chopping block is Tartarus. Now, there isn't anything different here besides the fact that there is just a collection of floors that you can access with the floor selector in the debug menu. And here's the thing, the last playable floor of Tartarus is floor 263, but floors 264 to 289 are the first block with the final block's music. Well, it gets a little bit stranger from here because from floor 290 to 299 is the Monad, so that's where Monad is stored. But there's a little bit more. So the first time you enter Tartarus, which is floor 2, that is stored up in floor 400, which makes sense because that map is a fixed map made by the game's designers because it does not change at all. So then, a little bit afterwards, if you go above that, there are the question mark floors from the second full moon boss from when the player is lost in Tartarus before the boss fight.
Now, if you have a keen ear, you might have noticed Drive Me Crazy didn't mention floors 300 to 399. Now, that's because these are one hell of a limbo area. These following floors are still the first block, but are in a very unplayable state. The shadows don't have pathing, and there isn't any floor names, kinda. Now, before I state this, we aren't super familiar with Persona 3's coding. And more importantly, this really is an explanation from us. The person we talked to is a Persona 4 Golden modder, so this might not be a great guess and not super helpful. So let that be a challenge to anyone who's actually interested in deep diving this mystery. But I liked the explanation, and we all kind of agreed that this is most likely what's happening. In practice, the reason the floor names are weird or blank is because the game is pointing to a blank floor name for these floors, but it's also pulling in garbage data. For example, some floors like 350 are always called /field.bf or have other file names attached to them. Now, the game did crash, so we can't explain that one per se, but it's assumed that the garbage data it was pulling was something related to a transition or something the game just couldn't execute. Or it might be the transition between this floor and the floor 2, because I think it happened around 399. But that's just the theory, talked to the modder, and that was about what they said to us. Again, this is not confirmed. We tried using a hex editor, we could not figure it out. But that's the best idea we have. Anyway, these floors are weird, but that's all the Tartarus weirdness, except for the ending, which is something we should get into now.
Finally, it's been a long and hard road, and now I finally reached the end of Persona 3. Suck it, you! I'm a real gamer now. Now sit back and shed tears of joy. Why isn't it loading? Why is it loading? Well, the true ending of Persona 3 isn't in the beta, but the bad ending is in the game for whatever reason. So come on! Why? Why, game?
Honestly, even with Reload being out, OP Persona 3 will never stop being the game it is. And honestly, that's the whole point of this video, is just to describe how impressive it is to see how far Persona 3 has come since its initial release back in 2007 here in the States. And, you know, while Persona 3 wasn't my first, it was Drive Me Crazy's first game. And its true first Persona game was Persona 3 Reload. So while it may not be as special to me as it is to them, it means a hell of a lot to me that my friends enjoy this game so dearly. And that's the whole point of the video. But here's the 18 years of Persona 3. Cheers, everybody. But, you know, that's not the final act of this one. I'm gonna let Dan take it away with the small announcement we have. Enjoy the final act of the show, everybody.
And here to say thank you all for 50 subscribers. Honestly, we're all blown away by the positive comments and feedback that's been given to us. So thank you all. But with that being said, we have a very special video planned for 100 subs, so be sure not to miss it. But until then, everyone, that marks a wrap for this show. Thank you again for watching, and please have a good day.